I
It just
will.
still leaves me at that like sunken place of confusion where it's just like, okay, so do we have free will? Like you saying like if
Yeah.
he knows, is it really an option?
Let me say
Or
this.
like is it really our choice?
Yeah. So God's knowledge doesn't insinuate it is it's a fine line there, like what God knows versus what God forces us to do. It's like his knowledge. It's like if I could see into the future. You see,
Mm-hmm.
that's a raven. Because she saw that, Chelsea might disrespect her or she might fall into a situation or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that she can automatically control the situation. It just means she can do things to prevent it. Like, can God step in? And I'll believe that sometimes he does step in, knowing that certain things are going to happen to prevent it or whatever. He knows that certain people are going to get in accidents and he protects them, or he allows them to be taken, you know, into the next life. It just, it's all, we don't, his ways are higher than our ways, his thoughts higher than our thoughts. And even if you don't believe it, the concept still
Yeah.
is, I would say, the best concept for how the world works. So I'm just going to say this, try to make it as simple as I can, because this is some philosophical stuff that when you study it, it goes pretty deep. But I do believe there's a simple answer. When God creates and he knows what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know that if you set, your child, if you put some candy in front of him, that he's going to grab it. It
Exactly.
doesn't mean that you made him grab the candy.
Yeah. Yeah.
See? So because God knows that you're going to, and you can, if you feel like you want to take it further, you can.
Mm-hmm.
But I would just say because God knows that you're going to do something, it doesn't mean that necessarily that he's making you do it. It's just not like the evidence, if you see
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Does that answer, or is there more like you want to get out?
Nah, it
Okay.
it makes
Because it
sense.
could go deep, you know what I'm saying? This conversation could, just that one little piece could last a long time. You know what I'm saying? That's what we here for if it needs to go there.
Yeah.
But if you start getting mad at me and I got to throw you out, then
I'm
it is
not
what it
gonna
is.
get mad at you.
Don't you ever
Alright.
again disrespect my show. Let's play.
No, but I don't really. Mm, that's just a tough spot. It just because it's like at some point it's like okay, he's not necessarily making us do it,
Hmm.
but he knows that we're doing it. So it's like if he knows what our actions are gonna turn out to be, it's like does at some point does do you believe that God does not know exactly the outcome? Like, do he believe that things can change based off of our actions that we change to do?
I would say he is all powerful and all knowing. Um, because bad things happen, it doesn't mean that there is no God, or that God. It doesn't prove that God's not all knowing. You could argue that maybe he doesn't. I mean, from a philosophical point, I don't believe this,
Mm-hmm.
but you could argue maybe God just, some people feel this way. God don't care about me because he knew this was gonna happen. He allowed it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would probably be your best bet as far as like what would make sense as far as why God knows something and it still happens. It's like, do you really not care about me that you allowed this to happen? But as far as free will, I don't think it really touches the free will at all. I think it could just be argued like, man, maybe God don't care about us. But then you got to think, does God know best?
Yeah.
Did you put yourself in this situation? Can he control you? That even goes more against free will because if God could control you, then he would just make all of us robots and serve him. If we didn't have free will, I'm pretty sure that's what we would be doing. And then it wouldn't be love
Yeah.
because we wouldn't be have a choice to love him. We would just be, so he has to let you do what you're going to do,
Yeah.
because if he doesn't, then that goes against you having free will. So actually it's the opposite view of him changing so much, being so much in our lives that we don't have free will anymore.
Yeah. Do
You know
you
what I'm saying?
believe that God put us in certain situations for other people?
You mean like negative situations or just any situation?
Any situation. Mostly negative though.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely believe that, certain bad things happen to bring about good things. There's a lot of terrible things that happen, and obviously I'm not happy that they happened. Let's just use a smaller example. so we don't get canceled.
Okay.
It's like I'm not gonna go in that direction. But no, half of me is gonna be upset with the other half.
Yeah.
No, but so if what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, if you're talking to y'all just caught that one. A little late, guys. Hey man, we having a good time, bro. Like the video. Get them likes up. If you're in the chat, guys, please like the video. And Samurai slash that like button like Corey Kenshin says. And also, if you're feeling it, hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna have some other conversations like this. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I got some answers, but I don't know. I may get stumped and I may have make a lot of happy atheists on this channel. Hopefully not. But yeah, so what was I saying? Okay, two people talking. They have a child out of wedlock.
Yeah.
Not the most ideal plan, not God's plan. But God can bring about a good situation out of that. He could bring a child that reaches thousands of people. We don't know.
Yeah.
It's God's ways are higher than our ways. And if we try to outsmart God or try to think, well, you should have did this. The old Joyner Lucas video, Devil's Work. He came out with that song talking about, well, God, you made a few mistakes. You should have did this. You should have did that. It's like, it's not I would say it's dumb, but it's not like the dumbest thing in the world because I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But when you fully understand what you're saying, you're kind of saying that you would do a better job as God. But it's like, there's no way you could even if there was some world where you would do a better job than God,
Yeah.
you would never know that. There's no way you could possibly know that. So there's no way you could possibly know if slavery didn't exist that we would be in a better world today. I mean, it's possible.
I think we'd be in a segregated world.
We could possibly be in a segregated. Maybe slavery would have just extended and been way worse if it wouldn't have been, the few, was it 200 years or something? I forget. I'm just talking about a certain type of slavery.
I did bad in history. I really did.
My best subject was math and grammar. So I know how to speak and count, but I don't know who your mama, I don't know your grandmama, I don't know none of them. I don't remember their names, but I can remember how old they are. You know what I'm saying? How much money they gave me in church. I can remember that.